What is going on, guys? My name is Chase, and welcome back to Intelligent Money Investing. Today, we are going to be doing a general portfolio overview, what I've got in my stock portfolio on Robinhood, how it's been performing, and I'm going to be going through why I have each and every one of my stocks. Before we do that, I want to thank you guys for clicking on this video, and I want to ask you guys to please hit that like button if you enjoy this video, and comment down below how you guys think I could improve my portfolio and what you guys have in your portfolio that I'm missing. All right, now let's get right into this. I'm going to put us in full screen mode really quick. All right, here we go. So this is the Robinhood portfolio. I have $5,000 invested all time here. As you guys can see, up 13.23%, and that's kind of a little bit skewed because I keep adding in more and more capital. So that's up 13% overall. I'm up $661, but there was a point where I only had $1,000 in, and I was up a couple $100. So it's a little bit skewed by that. So the first stock we are going to be talking about is, well, as you guys can see at the top, all of these positions are ETF positions: DII, VOO, QQQ. Those are the major indexes. Then we have SPY, another S&P 500, SPHD, DGRW, VYM. All of these are ETF positions, and we will talk about those in a completely separate video. This video is for the purpose of talking about my main investments. I'm going to focus predominantly on my top 5, and then I'm going to kind of just mention briefly the ones below that. So my number one position, my favorite stock right now, is going to be Berkshire Hathaway. BRKB is a fantastic stock. I am up 8% total return on this. I bought one share a long time ago, and then I bought another one at a higher price, but I do really like this stock. It hasn't performed fantastic in the last year or so, so it might be a decent buying opportunity. They did just have a 5% jump yesterday because of news that Warren Buffett is going to be more open to doing share buybacks, because they do have that over $100 billion cash pile that Berkshire Hathaway is sitting on. So I think it's always hard to bet against Warren Buffett, and I think he's the best investor and has the best philosophy, so I'm going to put my money in with him. A lot of people are concerned with this stock that once Buffett either passes away or retires, that Berkshire's kind of mentality is kind of going to get thrown out the window, but I firmly believe that it's not exactly Buffett that is making this company what it is. But obviously, Buffett's up there, and he's one of the main reasons, but in order to bring this company even bigger, what they really need is his investment philosophy and that mindset that he brings to the market. So moving on, we're going to head back to the home screen. Next up is going to be American Tower. I have 2 shares of American Tower. A lot of these ones aren't. This isn't necessarily in the order of my favorite stocks, but based on share price and how much money I put in and the deals I can find, they'll end up being higher or lower just because my portfolio isn't that large yet. It's not like $140 share is pretty significant to me at this point. So American Tower Corporation is a REIT actually, and it's a cell tower company. I believe that this technology is going to be essential going forward, and that it's going to, especially with 5G coming out, they're really going to boost what they can do. I am up 1.5% on this, and I've, of course, collected dividends. This is a pretty big dividend growth stock, and that's why I like it so much. It's been growing at a pretty fast pace. Over the last 5 years, it's up 107%, which is very good for a REIT, and I think it's got a very good competitive edge. I think it's pretty safe, so that's why I've enjoyed American Tower, and I think it's going to continue to do well going into the future. Next up is going to be Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is one of the worst positions so far in my portfolio. It's one of the, I think I might be down the most on Goldman Sachs. So I'm down about $20. I thought I was getting in at a decent price at $250, but it seems like a decent price was more like $220 with this stock. It's actually had a very, very bad year. Let's look at it in the last year. Oh, up 4%. The last 3 months have been downhill, though. It was up at like 270-ish, 272. I probably bought in around here in the 250 range after it took this dip, and it keeps going down. After it failed its stress test, Goldman Sachs has not been performing well. I think long term that this is a very smart group of people. How Buffett put his position in Goldman Sachs, he said it was a bet on brains, and Goldman Sachs has one of the top firms in the entire country. It's where the like top schools, graduates from the top schools go to, and I'm going to bet on them for the long term. I don't plan on selling this position anytime soon. I think they're going to come up with a way to be very profitable and grow the business going forward. So I'm going to keep holding Goldman Sachs. It is an expensive share. I wouldn't say it's in my top 5 most favorite, but it's an expensive share, it's kind of there by default. So Apple, I'm not even going to talk about Apple. We know why it's there. I've got one share. I honestly should have more, but very good company. Everybody knows Apple's the top stock in the market right now. I think Amazon's probably going to surpass it coming up soon. I believe Amazon's just touched $900 billion market cap and then dipped down a little bit. I expect Amazon to pass it and be the first company to $1 trillion. But Apple spits out so much profit that it's a hard company not to own. The last company I'm going to talk in depth about is AbbVie. We guys can see it's down 4.7% on the day, but I am up about 36% total return on this. Honestly, it's gone pretty low. AbbVie's at a pretty huge dip right now. It did touch about $120 as its 52-week high, and now it is down towards 90. I was in at 66 average cost, and I've been holding on to this company for a while. It's treated me really well, and I absolutely plan to hold it in the future. It dropped big time today because some research company said that there's a lot of downside potential with this stock, and it could go down to $60. But I don't really pay much attention to that. I pay more attention to the fundamentals of the business. And AbbVie has Humira, which just is a revenue and profit machine, and that's allowed them to have a lot of pipeline drugs and a lot of potential for big drugs that going forward that will boost the profits of this business and allow them to be more diversified, because right now about 60% of their revenue comes from Humira. Now we're just going to briefly go over the last few positions in my portfolio without clicking on them, taking the time to go in there. We got Pepsi. Pepsi I'm down a little bit on, but I really like the stock going forward. I don't love them for their beverage business because I think soda is going to kind of be trending down, total soda sales, but their snack business is big time, and I think that's going to continue growing and being one of the Pepsi staples in the future. Oh, this is Realty Income. This is a monthly dividend REIT. Really like this stock, and really wish I would have bought in and done more research when it was on a big dip. It's now at its 52-week high, I think. Microsoft, we're actually going to click on because it popped after hours today, up about 3.3% after earnings. Average cost is 71 here. This company has absolutely treated me great, up 50%. Only problem with Microsoft is that I don't own more of it. Absolutely great stock, and I think that they are never. I don't think anybody's going to ever take them out of their place in the office just because there's such a steep learning curve with so many people and being like based out of these systems. And since everybody uses Microsoft systems, I think it's going to stay that way. People don't want to have to kind of make new employees switch over to a whole new program and spend months training them on a system that not everybody's used to. And especially with those next gen Xboxes that are going to be coming out soon, I really think Microsoft's a great stock to hold on to for the long run. It's also a nice dividend growth stock, which, as you guys know, I absolutely love to have in my portfolio. So, last couple, SUI is a manufactured home community stock or REIT. Really like this one for the growth prospects of it, and I think that business is extremely, extremely safe. So, I've been parking my money in some REITs that are just, I don't see myself losing much money on, and because there's always value there. AT&T, I picked up 2 shares of, and it's on even more of a dip. If it gets into the 20s, I will absolutely be buying more AT&T. It's got about a 6% yield right now, which is absolutely huge for a starting yield, and I love that. Baozun, that's basically the Shopify of China. I'm up about, we'll click on this one because I'm up a pretty big percentage on it. I'm up about 66% on this stock. I kind of took a flyer on this one about a year ago, and it has turned out well for me. How many? We can't have too many more left. Starbucks has been an absolutely terrible stock since I've owned it. Been going downhill, but I'm going to hold on to it for the value prospects and that dividend growth. I think it'll end up okay. Starbucks is a staple of people's days, and it's really a habitual type of product. Even though I think if people are insane for spending $4 on coffee a day, it's part of your morning routine. It's part of what people do on a daily basis. So I'm going to keep holding Starbucks, and especially as they try to expand in maybe somebody getting a breakfast or a lunch at Starbucks as well. And SDIV, this is the monthly dividend ETF. I kind of just ordered it in here. Same with OUSA. And then finally we have BAC, which is actually a very high quality company, but I just have one share at the bottom and just to kind of see and get some financial exposure. So that's what I've got for you guys today. If you guys want to see my 1 week or my 1 year and all time, I'm up 12.6% in the last year, 13.23 all time. In the last 3 months, we're up about 5%. So that's what I've got for you guys today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Remember, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and comment down below what you guys think about this portfolio. And lastly, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.